This is Dolany TV, and guys, a big welcome back to another edition of the Edmonton Oilers Talk after taking the last night off due to the Calgary snowstorm that hit. Of course, that doesn't just hit Calgary, that hits surrounding areas as well, and that kind of made for my evening commute to be a little bit messed up, especially trying to leave work on time, an hour behind that. So here we go. The Oilers played the Ducks at 2 o'clock yesterday, and realistically I caught maybe 10-20% of the game on the radio, and what I did catch was Nuge's goal on the power play, so that was nice to hear, right? We take a 1-0 lead late in the third period, choke it away in the final minutes, and then lose in overtime. So if you want my breakdown, there's my breakdown. That's as simple and plain and easy as I know it to be and I can give you. But essentially today's video is going to be a little bit more back to what I've done in the past few weeks as compared to trying to do those game recaps. Of course, the Oilers have now played 2 games under Ken Hitchcock. He's seen pretty much the same set of players play those 2 games, and now he kind of gets his chance to figure out what he wants in terms of a roster when it comes to his Edmonton Oilers, right? That's the thing, is what are the mainstays, what are the outliers in Ken Hitchcock's Edmonton Oilers lineup? And couple of guys are going on about same thing as me, right? Obviously, I think Matt Benning with the Chris Weidman edition is the odd man out. So right there, that is as simple as it's going to be. I'm going to break down Matt Benning for you guys just based on the Edmonton Oilers website stats. And so 18 games for Matt Benning. He's played, what, 4 less than all the mainstays in the lineup. He's had a goal, 4 assists, 5 points on the season, a -2. The big thing, I guess, to Matt Benning's credit is being a defenseman and being as clueless out there as he has looked at times this season. He only has 4 penalty minutes. So realistically, we can harp on Benning, but that's the thing, right? His penalty minutes lead to goals 50% of the time. Mistakes lead to goals 100% of the time, right? So toss it up like that, and you've got a little bit of a different look at Matt Benning, that's for sure. And so Matt Benning, not exactly the guy I want to stay in the lineup. You guys are pretty aware of that. I think most of you guys are agreeing with me on that finally. So kind of takes you guys about a week to realize what I'm talking about, and that's fine because I come out in left field and start arguing stupid topics, and then eventually they all play out one way or the other and we have a solution. So Matt Benning, obviously the solution I'm saying there is Chris Weidman, and hopefully Chris Weidman can come in and kind of turn it around for us at this point. So the other guy that is the odd man out in Ken Hitchcock's Edmonton Oilers is a guy who literally played, what, maybe 5 minutes a night if he was lucky under Ken Hitchcock in those first 2 games. I think it was lower than that, actually. I just can't find the stats right in front of me to tell you precisely, but essentially Cooper Marotti back down to the AHL, which means by all essence in this is, I think, as Jesse Puljujarvi, hold on, let me double check my source here. Jesse Puljujarvi, there he is. Let's see what's going on with Jesse Puljujarvi and some news about Jesse Puljujarvi. So it's game 8. Nope, that's not what we want. What are we looking for? I saw it a second ago, and either which way, I think the big thing you got to realize is Jesse Puljujarvi down there in Bakersfield. Of course, I'm going to have a lot more extensive look at Bakersfield in a couple of days' time when I have a special guest on the program to talk about Bakersfield at length. But essentially, let's go to team and player stats in Bakersfield. Jesse Puljujarvi, from what I read earlier, I can't give you a source because I lost it in translation, but Jesse Puljujarvi, by the sounds of it, is going to end up being back in the NHL as of Sunday. Of course, not a very long drive, right? I think Keith Gretzky and Peter Chiarelli were driving down to Ontario to watch the game last night, and Jesse Puljujarvi had a goal, if I'm not mistaken. So Jesse Puljujarvi, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points in 4 games. He's looked rather sharp down there in the AHL. He's been great for them, and I think the biggest thing is it was just a matter of saving Jesse Puljujarvi from the coaching change. I honestly think the coaching change was already in the works before Jesse Puljujarvi was sent down, in terms of, oh crap, like things don't go right. Not in terms of like we're making a change, but in terms of if things don't go right, we're going to have to make a change. And essentially it was kind of about getting Jesse Puljujarvi's confidence back up before he has to go through a coaching change, right? Because if you throw a kid like Jesse Puljujarvi, look, scratched, not really knowing his place, and then you throw him with Ken Hitchcock, it's going to be an absolute disaster, right? So I think having him point per game in the AHL over 4 games now, probably coming back on Sunday, that is really going to be transformative for him because now he gets to play under a new coach. And by the sounds of it, from what Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels were talking about on the broadcast that I did catch, is that he's going to slot in on that second line right wing position in the game against LA tomorrow. So think about that, right? He gets in, he gets another chance on the second line, but this time he's got confidence. He hasn't had confidence from early in the preseason, right? So now he's confident again. He gets to play under a different coach. Things are now looking positive for Jesse Puljujarvi, and I'm really excited about that. So that's part of Ken Hitchcock's roster, right? Is does he want Jesse Puljujarvi on the second line? If the analysts and everybody else are kind of thinking that's where he slots in, Ken Hitchcock's probably going to put him there and see what he can do. And of course, you guys know the Oilers have a weak right wing. The big thing was Jesse Puljujarvi was supposed to be the sure up on right wing, kind of make sure it works out for them on that side. He wasn't through those games this year, but now he gets the chance to be that guy. And with a new coach, Ken Hitchcock, like thing is, yeah, Ken Hitchcock might want Jesse Puljujarvi to be part of his roster, but he's still in the evaluation phase, right? That's what I'm saying, is we're still determining what Ken Hitchcock's Edmonton Oilers lineup will look like. And Sunday against the LA Kings at 8:30, we're going to probably see Jesse Puljujarvi be part of that Oilers roster and Oilers lineup for Ken Hitchcock. So now it becomes, who else is kind of left? We've talked about Benning and Wideman. We've talked about Jesse Puljujarvi drawing in, Cooper Romarati back down in the AHL. Biggest thing you got to kind of look to is how he's going to balance the guys on the fourth line. Now hold on. Am I talking about the third line or the fourth line? The fourth line, that is the third line. No, I'm talking about the actual fourth line, which has kind of featured in the games that Hitchcock has coached, Marati, Ratty, and Kara. Now you gotta, with Marati out of the way, you gotta talk about Ratty and of course Kara, because right now we're fine and dandy. We can talk about those guys being in lineup for the foreseeable future. Problem is, hold on a minute when Tobias Reeder comes back, right? You guys remember I did that video about Reeder being out for a month. Well, now you talk about Tobias Reeder coming back, and Chiasson keeps performing. 10 points in 16 games, I believe, is the mark on Chiasson. Yeah, 8 goals. So he's like, honestly, on an 82 game scale, that would be 40 goals. Chiasson's not going to score 40 goals in my mind, but right, so now you got to figure in Tobias Reeder. So we're not going to know what exactly Ken Hitchcock's Edmonton Oilers lineup looks like until about mid to late December. Christmas time? Hey, you know what? Wake me up Christmas Day with the present under the tree that is the full 100% formed Ken Hitchcock lineup. That's pretty much what I'm going to tell you guys. Because until Tobias Reeder gets back, it's going to be kind of plug and play, right? Patrick Russell's kind of going to equate in there at some point on the fourth line. But until Tobias Reeder gets in and Jesse Puljujarvi's show improves for Ken Hitchcock, we have no clue what the roster under Ken Hitchcock is going to look like. That's the fun part about the next month, guys. The first 2 games have gone okay, right? Like, I was kind of excited about that first game against San Jose. Kind of can't really comment against Anaheim, but we got a point. So we're 1-0-1 in Ken Hitchcock's tenure as Edmonton Oilers head coach. And guess what? That means positive things for us because we've gotten 3 points in our past 2 games out of a possible 4. So that is huge. That's 100% a massive addition to our points total. And here you go, guys. I'm going to go quickly just check the standings for you because this is where it gets a little bit exciting. As NHL 18-19 standings, it's as easy as this. Western Conference, we sit in the wild card. We sit a whole 4 points out of the wild card, but in the Pacific Division, we sit 3 points back of a playoff spot. So 3-4 points back of a playoff spot. The start we've had in terms of the sky falling, Todd McClellan being fired, we are not in a bad position. Of course, like I said, it wasn't that we were in a bad position in the standings, it was that we were in a bad position as a team. So guys, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? What are going to be kind of the big additions, keys to Ken Hitchcock's lineup based on the players we have now? Like I said, project out to about Christmas time this year and then we'll know. So let me know, like send me lineup suggestions. What do you guys think Ken Hitchcock's Edmonton Oilers are going to look like? Anyway guys, I'm Tyson, this has been Dollar TV. I am up on, out of here.